Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to everyone who is joining live, and thank you so much to everyone who is watching the replay. Hello. Happy Wednesday. I'm so excited to hang out with you tonight. Let's kick this off quickly with the question that we always ask, which is, what are you drinking while we're hanging out today? If you're watching live, let me know in the chat. And if you are watching the replay, let us know when you're watching and what you're drinking. I am actually just having water. I'm really behind on my water, but I really wanted to use this cup. I have a couple announcements related to it soon. And so I really wanted to use the mug. So it's just water in the mug. And in fact, I'm going to put a straw in it because I love straws. All right. Let's see what we've got going on. We got some water, a caffeine-free Diet Coke, like someone's great-grandmother. Amanda, that's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Water, decaf with milk, water, all the water up in here. Everyone is getting hydrated today. It's not just me. I didn't get up and work out this morning. I didn't sleep well because I was so focused on my ear. If you follow me on Instagram, I finally got my ear pierced after multiple years of not having it pierced because it ripped and I had to get it sewn back together. Anyway, I got it pierced yesterday and she was like, you can't put pressure on your ear. So I'm sleeping with like a travel pillow so that when I put my head on it, my ear is like in the hole and I'm not putting pressure on my ear. But I didn't sleep well because the whole night I was concerned that I was just gonna like flip over and not have my pillow and then like mess up my ear. So anyways, I slept in today and didn't work out, which I'm always behind on my water if I don't work out. So Amy, it feels fine right now. Like it doesn't hurt at all. It feels fine. I just was like nervous about it because she said not to sleep on it. So anyways, let's kick this off at first with a couple of announcements. I have a little bit of bad news and then I have a little bit of good news. So the bad news is that there is going to be no live. Oh, there goes our sun. Good thing we have a light ready to go. So the bad news is that there will be no live next week. I'm headed home for my godmother's funeral and I am going to take next week off while I'm with my family so I can just focus on being with my family. So let's offset that bad news with some good news, and that is that merch is coming. If you watched last week's live, I talked about it. I didn't really talk about it. I just like used it and kind of teased you a little bit. So there is merch coming very, very soon. If you are a member of the Patreon community, you can actually buy it now. There is a link. It's both in the Facebook group and on the Patreon page. You can go grab the link and shop today. If you are not a Patreon, but you want to shop and you've been thinking about joining the Patreon community, maybe this would be the thing that puts you over the edge. You can come on and join the Patreon community and you will also be able to shop as soon as you join. Otherwise, the link will be going live on Friday for everybody else. You'll be able to see all the other items that I have besides just this mug. It doesn't come with a straw. This is just me using the straw for water. But you can get this mug as well as a couple of other things as well. I gave a little bit of a sneak peek to another one over on Instagram in an Instagram post that I posted like an hour ago. So I'm so excited, you guys. The patrons have had the link for an hour and they have already blown my mind, like absolutely blown my mind. I'm so thankful for them and I'm just so excited. So that's my announcements. Those are all my announcements that I have for today. Let me get back to the chat. Yes, part of it was getting my ear pierced way before the wedding so that it could heal completely and I could wear whatever earrings I wanted to wear at all of the events, just a bachelor party. I'm not having anything else, but the other things leading up to the wedding. So that is why I meant to go so it happened almost 5 years ago. It was the summer after Sam and I met. And then they said, leave it a year for it to heal. So the following Christmas, Sam actually got me earrings to use. And he was like, I'm going to pay for your piercing. I want you to go get your ears pierced. Here's some beautiful earrings. Like, here you go. And I kept putting it off. I kept putting it off because I was nervous. I kept putting it off. And then finally, after we got engaged, I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm ready to do it. And it was literally like that last spring, I was, okay, I'm going to do it. And then, of course, everything shut down. So I'm glad that I finally did it. Oh, Loretta, thank you. Maybe it's the earrings. And I also went ahead and put some things in my second holes too. So yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling good. Kat, I will definitely be restocking the merch. I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this on the live last week, or if I mentioned this in Patreon, I ordered the minimums for all of the items that I had to order to get them produced because I had no idea. I had no idea what the reaction was going to be and what the sales were going to be like. And so I purchased the minimums. And so I will be restocking soon once I get a feel for what the interest level is. Oh, Nicole, I'm so sorry that you're feeling some rough side effects. I've been there. I've totally been there. Managing social media, boss doesn't want me to post anything about anti-racism advice. Isabella, are you asking about a business platform that you're running and the boss doesn't want you to share? That is tough. I wish I had a good answer for you. I mean, luckily I'm my own boss. I'm in control of my own social media, so I'm allowed to share about all of the anti-racism things that I want to talk about. So, I mean, I would maybe create your own, if you have your own platform, that you could share things there if you're not allowed to share it on a work platform, or have that tough conversation again and again, even if he or she keeps saying no, keep bringing it up and tell him how important it is to you, how important it is to the community, and how important it is to your customers that they know where you stand and what's important to you. If you know that if you may have to go, I don't know where you work or who you work for, but maybe jumping up a level and having that tough conversation and telling them why it's important. So that's a really tough spot to be in. Thank you for joining us all the way from Europe. I know it's late. I know it's late over there. Georgia, thank you so much. Yeah, I am like, I do and I don't want it to sell out, right? I mean, I do want it to sell out eventually. I am very nervous somewhat that some of the items will sell out with the patron purchases and then it'll go live to everybody on Friday and there'll be something sold out. I don't want that. I do want that, but I don't want that. You know what I mean? Like I'm very torn about that. So if you are a merch fan, if you like cute things to drink out of and inspirational quotes, I would highly recommend, and you've considered joining Patreon in the past, then maybe this is the kind of bump that you need to join us today so that you can shop. This is a great question. I know you use Google Cal and not Apple Cal because I know I have Apple products. So I do have an Apple iPhone and an iPad, but I do not have an Apple computer. I have a Microsoft computer. So I really, my favorite part about my Google Cal is being able to play around with it on my laptop and move things around. So that is the number one reason why I use Google Cal, is so that I can access it. I know technologically savvy people, you're probably going to tell me there is some way to access iCal on my Microsoft computer if I wanted to do that. But at this point, I already have Google Cal all set up. But that's why I started using Google Cal, because it was easy for me to figure out how to use it on my Microsoft laptop. Kat, thanks. It's from like TJ Maxx or Marshalls when I went shopping with my mom back in like December or January. I love it. Lynn, you got email with the course info and you sent an email back with questions. I am very behind on emails, like very, very behind. So I will get back to your email as soon as possible. Definitely before the course goes on sale. I will make sure to answer any of your questions. Oh, Nat, thank you. I'm so excited as well. I'm so excited. Yeah, the patrons had access to a bundle, but it went fast. The bundles went very fast. So those are already gone, but every other product is still available to purchase. Not the bundles, but all of the individual products are available. Thank you, Cheney. I appreciate that so much. I think I'm gonna have to go back and double check, but I'm 99% sure you were the first order that came through, like the first name that pops up in the system, besides my test order that I did last week. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm gonna end up poking myself in the face with a straw in the process of this evening tonight. I'm just gonna poke myself in the face. All right. What other questions do you have tonight? We don't have to talk about merch the whole time. Let's chat about planning, about goals, about whatever is on your mind. We're kind of at that weird, like, there are 9 days left in the month. That's a lot of time. We can still make a lot of progress, but we're also probably thinking a little bit about next month. So excited. Finally catching alive. Hello, Ariel. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, a 4-month-old girl. You are on top of it. Super mama. Thank you so much for your kind words. I'm loving seeing it grow as well. The merch was something that I've wanted ever since I started Lattes with Laken. I've wanted these mugs, and I wanted to do it for a long time, but I wanted to do it right. And I wanted to do it, it's not, the merch for me is not necessarily about an income stream. It is about seeing it in your hands and seeing you use it and having it motivate you. That's really what it is for me. Yeah, great question. Am I joining Club Boxie? Honestly, I haven't decided yet because I haven't been using the Boxie Life system. And even when I do, I don't use it as normal. That makes me lean towards no. The fact that Sierra is amazing and knowledgeable, and I know that she's going to drop some knowledge about goals, that makes me lean towards yes. Part of me is you already have 8 million online courses that you need to finish. That's one of my quarterly goals. You don't need to join another one. That leans me towards no. I go back and forth. So if you don't know what Club Boxie is, it is a goal setting, 6-month goal setting group coaching program that Moxie Life is launching. I'll make sure to leave a link down below. It launches tomorrow, the 22nd. I do have an affiliate link for Moxie Life, which includes Club Moxie. But if there's another person who has talked about it and that you are in the Moxie Life community, just use somebody's affiliate link. I guess that's my point. Anyways, it launches tomorrow. It starts May 1st, and it is a 6-month group coaching program. Each month has a different topic that Sierra is going to coach on. There's going to be a live Zoom, where she is going to coach and teach, and then there's going to be a bunch of other stuff included as well. Worksheets, downloadables, journal prompts, Q&A sessions, all kinds of other things as well. And it seems really, really awesome. I haven't personally decided yet. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, actually, this is the first time I'm wearing it, which is funny. So I will definitely be careful and maybe not put it in the dryer. Thank you. Thoughts on the new ECA5? Yeah, it looks awesome. If that is your style, if that's your layout, it looks just like the normal daily, but smaller. I personally need my daily for my personal life not to have time. So that's why it isn't even really an option for me, but I'm glad that they finally made something like that, because I know their customers have been requesting it for a long time. Holly, do the new dates conflict with my wedding? It is the weekend before the wedding. So yes and no. I'm trying a new disc system for the first time. What's the most annoying thing about discs? Georgia, so for me, there's 2 things I don't like about discs. One, I personally don't like the aesthetic. I just don't like the way that they look. And that is just me and a personal preference. The other thing I don't like about discs, which is the same thing I don't like about rings, is the ability to be flexible and to move things around. That's too much flexibility for me. I need to be committed to following through and using something on a coil, and I need there to be dates. I don't know if it's dated or undated, but I feel like with discs and rings, it's just print out another copy and just have another copy. And it's my perfectionism needs it to be, I need to just be able to use something that's attached in a coil, and I can't just rip it out and put a new page in. So Mia, how do you recover after a huge setback, super huge? So first off, give yourself all the time that you need to recover from whatever that setback is. Give yourself the time and space to feel like yourself again before you even focus on anything else in life in terms of goals or improvement. Give yourself as much time as you need. Then you start really, really small. So you start with 5 minutes of something. You start with one tiny thing. Maybe it's making 1 meal a week and ordering in the rest. Whatever it is, something very, very small to get you back to where you were, and add in just a little bit at a time. That would be my tip. The monthly bundles are sold out on Allie Edwards' website. Do you know of any memory planning products that aren't just blank notebooks? So Amanda, I'm pretty sure the monthly things, they open up in a window each month. And so it's the 12th through the 15th, or the 15th through this. It's somewhere in that range. So you already missed the win. I know we talked about this yesterday. The window to buy May's, like that already happened. So you can sign up in May. They're never sold out. Like you can always join in, but it's too late to join in for May, if that makes sense. I don't really know of any other memory planning products besides like going to Hobby Lobby or Michael's and buying their scrapbooking supplies. But I know you were looking for something a little bit more structured, say, than that. Like that's too much. Isabella, great question. Do you try to reach goals while you're on vacation, the relaxing kind? No. Like most of the time if I'm going on vacation just to relax and go on vacation, I also need to not work on my goals. I may take books and like work on some reading stuff, but everything else I need to turn off and just relax and take that time. Hi, I did get my mirror hung and I love it. It's so nice. It makes life so much easier. Oh, Loretta, a promotion has come up at work and I have imposter syndrome about going for it. Any advice for deciding to go for it or not? So first off, always go for it. The worst that they can say is no, and always go for it. My other big advice or tip that I find with applying for jobs and promotions, we humans, well, women more likely, will never likely have, you're never gonna have all the qualifications. They list all these things that they wanna have, and like 9 times out of 10, the person that they hire doesn't have all of those. They just hired the best person that they got that applied. So even if there is something on the job listing that you do not qualify for, still apply. It is okay. If you do not meet all of those qualifications, still apply. That's my advice. I saw some quote somewhere that was like, men will apply for jobs they're only 50% qualified for, and women won't apply for jobs until they're 90-something% qualified. Or so, I don't know what the numbers were, and I don't know the exact quote, but it was something like that, such that we need to stop being so focused on like checking off all of the qualifications for a job before we apply for it. We got a 24-month lease, which is really, really exciting. Because we are definitely risking that when our lease is up, they're going to jack the price of this place up and price us right out of it. If market prices are back up to normal, we couldn't afford this place in normal times. Sad. I'm so excited for planner launch season. I'm thinking next year I'm going to do my planner of choice and power sheets. Are you getting anything new for next year? As of right now, no, I have no plans to get anything different than what I'm using now. Everything I have now is working. The only thing I've considered something slightly different or just moving into a different spot in a planner I currently use is my content planning. I'm using my content planner because I own it and it is in my possession. I am not excited about it because of all just the months and months of delays. And I know that some of it was out of her control, and I get that, like things were crazy this year, but there was just a lot that went on with the content planner that makes me not excited to look at it and not excited to use it. And I likely won't buy another one next year. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Work-related question. I've been in interviews where they ask, how do you work under pressure? And somehow that was expected normal, but the more I think about it, the more it bothers me. Yeah, I don't know if that's really a question now, but I think you can redefine what pressure means, right? Like whether pressure is like a tight timeline or an important meeting or an important presentation, like it can still be positive, or you know what I mean? Like pressure doesn't have to be a negative thing. So maybe either asking them to define pressure or redefining it for yourself and using that definition in your response. There's your question. Yeah. So hopefully that answer helped you. Oh, I wish I had a perfect answer for you. Advice for dealing with imposter syndrome or dealing with lack of self-confidence. I mean, I deal with it too. Like every I feel like every person has some degree of imposter syndrome and not feeling like they are enough or good enough. I would say the best way, couple things. One, try and keep a running saved folder of photos of things that go well. So when someone gives you a compliment or you achieve something great, write, type a note, take a picture, put it, like screenshot it and put it in this folder, and have this folder of like, go here when you're feeling unsuccessful kind of place. Sit down and write out a list of your accomplishments, all of the things that you've accomplished, big and small, and all the little steps, all the things that you've accomplished. And then I also think it's just continuing to show up, because the more that you show up, the easier it gets. And not the easier it gets, the easier it gets to push out those voices, because at the end of the day, the voice of imposter syndrome is just a form of fear. It's just a form of fear, whether that's fear of failure or fear of success. It's going to vary depending on who you are. As a 6, it's probably more like fear of failure than fear of success, but imposter syndrome is just a form of fear. I highly recommend this book, Fear is My Homeboy. I don't know why my finger can't go there. I love that book, and I think that helps a lot. I hope that was helpful. I feel like this light is not doing anything for my face. I feel like it's kind of dark and gloomy in here. It thunderstormed for like a hot second today, but that's it. Any recommendations for someone who is doing well with daily goal but has fallen off the wagon this past month? Yeah, Kat. So what I found when this is an issue for me is that I try, if I've fallen off the wagon and it's been more than, let's say, a week. Really, I don't have a scientific answer for what the time frame is. But let's say if you have skipped it for more than a week, then when you jump back into it much smaller than what you were doing before. And so instead of trying to do the same daily, whatever the daily reading goal you were doing before, do something much smaller, like a 10th of that, and shrink it back down, and then get that consistent before you up it again. I feel like it's just one of those things, like when you miss a certain number of days, you go back to ground zero and you've got to go back to starting small again. Oh, Heidi Swap has memory keeping kits. So there's some other options for you. I haven't touched my planner in a month, and it's so hard to get back into it, but I'm missing things because living off of lists and Google Cal. Any advice on jumping back in? So we actually just talked about this in our Patreon Q&A over the weekend. So 2 things. 1, keep it simple when you're jumping back in. So don't try to go back in with all the stickers and all the washi tape and all the things. Pens, keep it very simple jumping back into it, and just commit to using your planner. Commit to using your planner for an entire week, pen only, and just get yourself back into it. The other thing that we discussed was figure out what it is that you're missing. What is it that's not working? Like what is falling to the wayside, given that you're living off of a Google Cal and a notepad? And if that's the case, find a way maybe to fit that thing into Google Cal and a notepad instead of using a planner. Are you trying to get back into your planner because you own the planner and you feel like you should be using it? Or is it because it's the only solution to not miss these things? And if it is the only solution, then start small, start simple, get back into that planner. If it's not, maybe you can finagle a way to make sure you don't miss those things on your Google Cal or on your notepad lists. Amanda, this is a fun question. How did you pick the colors for your brand, and do you sometimes want to change them? Yeah, all the time. Like all the time I'm like, well, what if I had chosen this color instead? Or what if I had chosen this color? Honestly, I didn't really have colors. And then I got my logo made, and then I had all the colors to pick from. And I realized I really needed to hone in on some specific colors. And so I was like, which color from the logo do I like the best? And it was the pink that jumped out at me, which is funny because orange isn't typically my favorite color, but the orange is not as predominant on the logo. So I think it just didn't jump out at me. And then I was like, okay, well, the pink needs a friend. Like we need an offsetting color. It can't just be pink. And that's why I picked the yellow. It's not, there's no really logic behind it. It was just I don't know, just what I liked. And you can always change it. I mean, I've seen people change their brand colors. Like, pick something, go with it. And if you decide you want to change your mind, change your mind. I lost my spot. I've been thinking about using the Boxie Life for memory keeping purposes. How's it working for you? Well, I'm really behind, like almost 2 months behind. So right now it's not going so well, but the last 2 months in my life were a little bit not normal. And I guess life is not always going to be perfect and normal. So I am planning to try and catch up and get back to it. Right now it's not working, but I'm hoping to get back into it. Hi, Mallory. Am I still working with my nutrition coach? How's that going? No, she graduated me, which is kind of a bummer. I have considered reaching back out to her and starting up again because so we worked together for 2 months, all of January and all of February. And all of January and all of February, I was crushing it. And I was a great client and I was doing all the right things and I was losing weight and it was all fantastic. And then March came and it hit the fan and so let me rewind. At the end of February, she was like, you're doing such a great job and you're making progress on your own. Like, I don't want to tell you to stop giving me money, but I think you should try it on your own. Here's a soft graduation. I think you should go try it on your own. And then if it doesn't work, you come back. I think had things not gone haywire, I would have been able to consistently stick with it and continue doing what I was doing. But then things got all over the place. So it hasn't been great recently. I definitely still have some work to do in that realm, but we'll see. We will see. Oh, I love that use of the little by little book to write one thing that you did that day to help you realize how much you accomplished. Mindy, that's awesome. I don't know if that's still available or if it's sold out. Like, I know it's sold out and then they found more. So there might be some, but I don't know. Tips for managing work to-do lists when your job is very unpredictable. I try to plan out my week and then new tasks come in. That's why I like planning by day, Loretta, because if I plan out the whole week, then things pop up and that doesn't happen. That's why, especially once we started working from home and all of a sudden I had way more time to do tasks working from home than I did in the office. I don't know if that's just because we had less meetings or less like chatting with my coworkers, but all of a sudden I had way more time to work working from home. And I like having a daily for work so that I can turn the page and fresh right out if things popped up, whether that's tasks or meetings or anything like that. So that would be my advice on that, is that don't plan out your whole week in advance for work. Hello, welcome for your first time. I love it. Do you think Fear is My Homeboy better physically or digitally? I mean, I am a physical book person in general. I don't really like digital books. Unless it's like just a fiction book that I'm reading on vacation. And so I take a Kindle instead of an actual book. But if you are a digital reader, then do it digitally. Oh my gosh. After I finished it that night. Not the night of, no, actually, I think I did finish it that night of the vlog that I filmed, the day in the life from last week. It was awesome. Highly recommend. I need a daily planner with the plum paper layout, but EC paper quality. Your favorite pens don't write on the plum paper. I get you, Rachel. I think what you have to decide is what's more important to you, the layout or the pens. Unfortunately, unless you're willing to do like a ring style or a disc style where you get printables from a shop that's got beautiful paper, and they have lots of layout options, and I think you could probably find something similar. I don't know any off the top of my head, but some of our printable experts could probably help with that. I don't know that it exists. So I think you have to decide what's more important to you. I ended up giving up some of my favorite pens because the plum paper layout and size was more important to me than the pens. Sorry, I know that's not what you want to hear. How to still track stuff when it is overwhelming. I understand the benefits of it, but it's just too much. And I feel that if I don't track it, it didn't happen. Nat, do you just mean like in general tracking stuff, like goals and habits, or like tracking? I think that's what you mean, not like tracking food. Just shrink down the amount of things that you're tracking. If it's getting overwhelming, then don't track as many things and only track one thing or two things. See if that helps. And I'm so excited that you ordered the Plum Paper Me Planner for health tracking. I'm loving mine too. It's so good. I actually also gave myself permission last week. I posted this on Patreon I wasn't tracking my food. And so I was not using my Plum Paper Health Planner because there's a whole section that's about food. And I was like, you know what? So I took a gray mild liner and I just struck out that entire row and I tracked everything else. And I really liked that. Oh, my lights are all over the place tonight. I was trying to turn it up. It felt like my face was dark. I don't know. What the heck? I'm looking for a good mascara. What does Jessica Braun suggest? So she is my go-to for most everything in the entire world. But for mascara, I have my own picks. She's mentioned a lot recently that I would love to try, but I have like backups of my favorites. So from the drugstore, for drugstore prices, it's the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. And for high-end purchases, it's the It Cosmetics Superhero. Those are my favorite mascaras. Kelly, great question. How do you track negative action items? Trying to find a way to make 5 or less impulse purchases this month, but using the progress bar in the tending list feels counterintuitive. So what I would do, if you have space in your daily section, I would flip it and make it positive and put didn't impulse buy in your daily section. And then you get to check off every day that you don't make one. And you know that your goal is to only have 5 days that you skip during the month, but make it a daily goal and something you get to check off every day when you don't do it rather than when you do it. Friends, anybody? Lissa, any advice for rigid thinking when it comes to goal setting? I either do things 100% or not at all. That is one of the topics that we talk about in the course that I teach is about all or nothing mindset, because all or nothing mindset does not work. And as perfectionists, we struggle with thinking that it either needs to be perfect or it needs to be nothing. And one of the analogies I always use is, how many times did you get a 100 in class? Now, if you were a good student, it is possible that you got 100 sometime on homework, quizzes, maybe even an exam here or there. But most of the time, we're not getting hundreds in class. And we're getting something below that. And guess what? We still graduated. We still got degrees. We still made it in life, even though we didn't get 100s on every single test. So if you don't get 100, even if you get a C, a 70%, that is still 70% more than you would have done if you just didn't do anything. And it can be so hard because sometimes as perfectionists, we would rather have a 0 than a 70. But at the end of the day, would you rather have $0 or $70? Like, if you can't get 100, so would you rather have 0 or 70? And so I highly recommend focusing on the progress that you're making and not the perfect end state that you're trying to get to. Do I use time slots in my daily work planner? Yes, Tina. I like having times for my work planner and just not for my personal planner. So right now for work, I'm using the Lights Planner Action daily layout that's got the, no, they're over here, the times. I like time slots for work, just not for my personal life. All-time favorite meal. I feel like that's a much nicer way to ask that than I think someone asked once, like, what would be my last meal if I had a last meal? Medium rare filet mignon, garlic mashed potatoes, no skins, and a giant piece of chocolate cake, and a delicious glass of California Cabernet. That's my favorite meal. Yes, Mindy, you can ask here, but yes, both bundles have already sold out. I'm sorry. Yes, celebrating the small wins. It's tough to be to feel like you accomplished things when you see the things that you didn't check off. It's hard, especially if that's how your mind works. You see all the non-checks instead of the checks. But I encourage you to focus on the things that you are checking off. Kim, will I be doing any of the new planner launch reviews? No, I'm not planning to review any of the new planners. My water is gone. Sad. All right, so for those of you that are still here, I have more water in this water cup over here, but I'm not going to turn it around. I'm going to put the lid back on. I'm going to keep it facing this way. It's much colder because there's actually ice in there sitting in the mug. Ooh, yeah, great question. Wine tasting. How did you find your favorite? Wine tasting trial and error. 1,000% trial and error. Go to actual wineries, get flights of things, try everything, try different colors, try different types, try different like tiers, try lower tier, try upper tier, and figure out what you like. It takes time, but totally worth it. How do you avoid getting burned out by the same planner layout month after month? You know, I have never felt that way. Like, I like the consistency when I find something that works for me, but my advice would be to change up how you use it. So whether that's moving things in different spots, like if you always put something here and something in this corner in this box, try putting different things in those boxes or moving things around that you track or plan on your planner. Try using different supplies, different markers, different washi, different stickers, no stickers, just pens, colored pens instead of black pens. Like, try using a different supply, something that makes the layout feel new without actually getting a whole new product. Any suggestions for any of the online courses that you've taken? Besides Content Batching Bootcamp, which I know that you've already taken, Amanda. So that's the #1 course that changed my life, hands down. As of right now, nothing yet that really is like, I'm ready to recommend to the world. Lisa, highlight of my week so far. It was sitting here watching all the Patreon orders roll in. Like, it was really cool. It was really cool. How do you deal with major life changes and pivoting your goals? You're having your second baby, Kim. I'm so excited for you. And realizing some of your goals just aren't going to happen. 100%. And I love the idea that you're thinking about it now versus likely when you have a newborn. I would go through your goals for 2021. I would just put a big cross. I would just cross through the ones that you're like, those aren't going to happen. And let that go. The letting go process, accepting that those aren't going to happen. Do that now instead of when you're sleep deprived and have a newborn. And then the goals that you want to keep, I would take the time to brainstorm some of the really small steps that you can take now that you're going to be in this new stage, because there might be some goals where the overarching goal doesn't have to change. Like, that's still a goal you could work on, but the steps that you're going to take to get there are going to be different because of your new season of life, and likely smaller because you're going to have less time to dedicate to those goals. So think about the action steps that you can take towards those goals with the mindset of new mama, newborn baby around, and think about what those steps that you could take would be. And then you will have a list that you can reference when the time comes when you are ready to start making progress on your goals again. Hope that's helpful. Suggestions for travel versus action steps towards goals. As I schedule summer travel, I feel weird about putting travel before goals. And you should not feel bad about that. Travel, at least for me, if it's like this for you, is rest. It's vacation. It's relaxing, and it fills me up. Even though, yeah, when I come home, I'm probably more tired and having to unpack is frustrating. There is something about travel that fills me up. So think about how travel fits into one of your goals. Do you have a goal that's about your mental health, or a goal that's about doing things that make you happy? That's one of mine. That's where travel falls in. Like, it falls right into that category, and it still counts as a goal. And I am going to be a better person, and I'm going to work harder on my goals when I get back from my trip, because I am refreshed and energized and motivated to keep going rather than had I spent that week on my goals. Yes. Where are you going? I want to know where you're going. We just booked a flight to Oregon. I kept refreshing the order menu like it was my merch on sale. Amanda, I love that. Yes, Elisa, we did go to the Boozy ice cream shop. It was good. Sam's did not taste that. It didn't taste like much of anything. Sam got this like cake batter vodka, which is funny because that's probably what I normally would have gotten because I like cake batter is like my go-to ice cream flavor, but his didn't really have that strong of a flavor to the point that we wondered if they gave him the wrong one, but we'd already walked away. I got caramel chocolate bourbon and it was fantastic. For me, it was like the perfect amount of like I could taste that there was whiskey in there, but it wasn't overpowering. It was fantastic. It was so good. How do you stay disciplined and follow through with your goal? You're having major problems creating a routine. Most of the time when it comes to a routine that you're struggling with, it's because you're trying to do way too many steps at one time and implement a brand new routine that's got 8 million things a part of it versus one step at a time. So instead of implementing that whole thing, take one part of it, one step, one habit out of that routine, and then take that habit and make it even smaller. So for me, my morning routine was non-existent. And I started with writing down one thing a day that I'm thankful for. It takes me 2 minutes a morning to do that. And that was the one step I started with in my morning routine. And so I just did that consistently every day in the morning for an extended period of time. Then I added something else on. And then I would do those two things for an extended period of time. That period of time is going to depend on who you are and what the habit is that you're implementing. Maybe you're also going to up the time. Like you start with just 5 minutes of reading, if that's a goal of yours, or 5 minutes of exercise or yoga. And then you up it to 10 minutes after a couple of weeks. So work on breaking down the goal. In this case, for a routine, it's taking one step and making it even smaller. Michelle, I am so sorry that the link is not working for you. Of course, like the one time that I'm like, go click on the Patreon link so you can order merch. It's not working. I will update it in 17 minutes once the live is over. I promise. Any new couple date ideas? No, that's definitely an area that we're struggling in as well. Yes, travel is a fun thing and a mental health thing. I'm so excited for you. San Diego is beautiful. I mean, I've actually never been. I've only been to LA, but I've heard it's beautiful and the weather is fantastic. And Portland in August is also fantastic. Yes, Emily, Oregon is close to Seattle. I know. We're actually flying through Seattle because we're going to Bend, Oregon, and there's no direct flights. So we're actually flying through Seattle, but we're only going to be there for an hour. We just went to Seattle a year and a half ago, so it doesn't quite make sense for us to go back yet, but yeah. Kim, other than more space, what are you loving most about the new apartment? I love that my work is in a separate space from my life. Like I love that I can't see my bed while I'm sitting at my desk. I love that I can't shut the door because Charlie's litter box is in here. I can almost all the way shut the door and just walk out of this room at the end of the day and let go of work. It's so much easier to separate work and home when we have these separate spaces. I think I've noticed it for Sam too. So just having our bedroom be just about being a bedroom and not also an office, having our living room be just a living room. Okay, it's also kind of a gym, but it's not a workspace. And that has been amazing. Now, I did see that Harry Potter is opening a store in New York. It is walking distance from my apartment. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I feel like it's super dangerous. Like super dangerous. Do you miss something about the old apartment? You know, the actual apartment, no. There's nothing about the old, like the actual being inside the apartment that I miss. I miss things about the neighborhood. There's little things about the neighborhood that I miss. Even yesterday when I was getting my ears pierced, ear pierced. The piercer was asking me what, she was getting iodine on my mask. when she was cleaning my ear. And she's like, I'm sorry, it'll wash out, I promise. And I was like, it's fine. It's like a cheap Old Navy mask or like 5 for $10, like not a big deal. And she was like, where's there an Old Navy in the city? Like, where are you going to an Old Navy? And I said, I had to think about it for a second. Then I was like, oh, it's by my old apartment, which I don't live at anymore, but there's an Old Navy in the Upper East Side. And anyway, so like I miss Old Navy. Yes. And there's other things I think of about the neighborhood that I miss. I know I do want to go to San Diego. It's on the list. It's a long flight from here. So someday. Yes, I will take you to a vlog I will take you to the Harry Potter store in a vlog. Was it June 3rd? Is that right? That's a Thursday. It's very random. Have I found my new favorite coffee shop near my apartment? No, honestly, because I got the espresso machine for my birthday. I haven't been getting coffee out a lot. And if I do, it's Starbucks because I have gift cards that I can use. I do know of coffee shops around here that I like because we're in the same neighborhood as my office. And so I do know of coffee shops around here, but I actually haven't been to one yet. I want to go like work at a coffee shop. It's been a very long time since I did that. Yes. Is Charlie visiting more now that I have the rug? Yes, she is. She has been sleeping on the rug. She usually does about half and half of the day in each of our rooms. So. Oh yes, there is an Old Navy at 18th and 6th. I forgot about that one. What did you include in your apartment moving spreadsheet? Shannon, somebody asked this last week, so I would recommend bumping back to last week's live and listening to my response then because I may have said things I'm not going to remember now. For us, it was about price, location, floor of the building. Did it have a dishwasher? Did it have laundry in unit or in the building? I think that's it. We kept it very simple, very simple. Yes, make a trip to NYC for sure. Kim, you are not the annoying international person. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I feel bad because I know that that's a frustrating thing in general. Oh yeah, there's an Old Navy on 34th. I'm just afraid there'd be a lot of people over there all the time in Herald Square all the time. Always people. All right, I think I'm all caught up with questions. Oh, what am I most excited about for spring and summer? Well, in my mind, spring feels like it's over. I know it's not even close. Like I know we're like today is a month into spring. But for me, spring is like from my birthday to Easter, and then it's like the spring is over and it's summer. Really just getting back into travel and being able to go places again. We're driving somewhere for Memorial Day weekend, and then we're flying in July. And then my brother, he's coming to visit us in late July, and just like the travel and like being just back to normal. Even though it's not going to be totally normal yet, it will still feel like something. So I'm excited for travel. I will link the espresso machine. I linked it in some video. I don't know which one it was. So I'll link it again in this video vlog when I'm done. Guys, I'm so distracted. Yeah, Kim, I actually talked about that like maybe 30 minutes ago. If you are just catching the live and missed that discussion. Yeah, it's not going very well. Is my wedding still on for the summer? It was never. Our wedding, it was postponed to next March. Yeah, so no, unfortunately not. Our flight's reasonably priced. Well, because we were flying into a small airport, flying into Bend, and we're flying from literally the other side of the country, they were pretty pricey for the two of us. But my brother's flight from Chicago to here was really reasonable. So I think it depends on where you're flying and what days you're flying. Trying to decide for a trip for your 40th with 3 girlfriends, a 3 or 4 night trip from Seattle. Napa. Do you like wine? Napa. Like that is my number one recommendation on that side of the country for a girls' weekend. 3-4 nights is perfect. Oh my gosh. If you don't like wine, then don't do Napa, but that would be my recommendation. Oh my gosh, 6 years, 30 miles. Come on in. It's so close. Come on in. It's so close. Oh, you can't drink. Oh, Emily, I didn't know that. It's still beautiful. Oh, that is frustrating. What else is on that side of the country? Besides like LA, you can go to Disneyland if you like Disney, or Vegas. What about like Arizona? I know that's still pretty far from Seattle, but what about like Arizona, going to like a resort with like spas and pools and stuff? That could be fun. A food tour. That's a fun idea. Just like spit everywhere. Or San Diego. Do San Diego. That sounds like fun. So many options. So many options. So little time. All right. Ooh, Jessica, that's a really great recommendation. Vancouver. I don't know when you're trying to go, Emily, though, because I don't think Vancouver's letting us in. As of right now, Canada is still closed off to Americans. So I don't know when you're trying to go, but you might not be able to get in. But if you could, Vancouver is great. And we drove across the border from Seattle, September of 2019. We drove from Seattle to Vancouver. It was an easy drive. Border was super easy to get across. Yeah, Vancouver is amazing. It's amazing. August. So it's probably hard to plan because we don't know if Canada is going to let us in August. It's probably safer to plan domestically, but someday you should go to Vancouver. Lots of recommendations. Palm Springs. Flights are reasonable in Southwest San Diego. There you go. All right, y'all, I am going to wrap this up. I'm currently taking an online course and it starts at 7 on Wednesdays. So that's why I need to get things wrapped up so that I can get ready for my course. So I'm going to ask you our final question, which is, what is one thing that you will do this week to make progress on your goals? What is one small thing that you can take action this week? It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be this big, massive leap. Like, it does not have to be a huge leap. It can be a small step. Batch week. Amanda, that's so great. Oh, Shannon, what was the process? Well, it doesn't matter because we ended up packing in a rush with everything going on. So I didn't really have a process. It was pack and get here. So I don't really have a good answer for you. I'm sorry. Studying for your exam so soon. You're almost free. Finish your Excel spreadsheet. You're speaking to my heart, and finish cleaning the kitchen. Such a good progress. That's so exciting. That's so great. Fill up your water bottle. I love that. One day. That's it. Just go once. One day is a win. That's still progress. You're still making baby steps. And once you go once, it will motivate you to keep going again. Oh, Nat, that sounds amazing. A wine date with yourself. I love it. Decluttering your closet, reworking your goals. So excited for you. Sending you and your family and your new little one. Filming your EC warehouse sale. That's so awesome. Memory keeping, vacation, starting an organizing system. That's so great. Apply for a job. Good luck, Rachel. That's really exciting. Read. Yes. Oh, I clicked on one and was saying the other. Read at least once this week. Kat, doesn't have to be for very long. 5 minutes. Code interviews. Oh my gosh. That's intense. Sign up for the gym. That's a great step. That is a great baby step. Being more disciplined and checking in on your personal progress. I love that. Planning in your planner. Yes, I love that. Set aside the time now to plan in your planner and make progress on that. Update your next quarter goals. Irma, I love it. Create a sinking fund to start investing in my business. Elise, I love this one. That makes me so happy. I'm so excited for you. Awesome. Y'all are the best. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm so excited just with everything. Y'all are the best. Before you head out, if you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, if you found value. I hang out every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern to answer all of your questions. However, next week I am taking a week off, but I will be back May 5th. Cinco de Mayo. It doesn't matter. I will be back May 5th at 6 p.m. Eastern to answer all your questions about life, planning, goals, and all the things. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, I can't even do an outro. I'm so distracted. Click that subscribe button if you're new here. Have a great night.